Hello again, folks. This is Barry with Barry's 8-track and classic car radio repair. And yes, we're going to be demonstrating another finished conversion for you guys. This one, before I go into the workings on this thing, I'll show you a few things that happened since this customer, this is from Bruce in Ogdensburg, New York. That's where this one came from, and he has requested pretty much the total package, the FM conversion with the USB and Bluetooth features. And so since he's gotten so much work done on his unit, I'll just kind of go into all that happens. When your radio comes back, for the best performance, your original connectors are replaced with this 12-wire harness, and that's so that each speaker can have its own pair of wires with no grounded wires or shared wires between any of the speakers. That's how you get maximum output capability from the conversion. The USB feature, your radio will come back with a USB receptacle, basically just a short dongle coming from the back of the unit, and you'll have to get a USB extension cord to plug into that so that you can bring that USB receptacle to a more convenient location where you can get to it. On the back of the unit will be a this is the USB/Bluetooth board, and it has jacks labeled mic and PB, which most people won't be using PB. That just stands for a push button. That's a feature that if you're having it installed into a unit that is not able to tune properly, then you use the PB. Otherwise, you just use the mic input. Now, the the Bluetooth feature, the newer version does include a microphone that we can install in the radio itself. The trick to that is putting it someplace where it can pick up your voice and all that stuff, which can be kind of a challenge. On this model, I just kind of mounted it right here in the lower right-hand corner. You probably can't even see it. Maybe we can get a zoom on that, a little better zoom. Let's just see if we can zoom in a little bit closer. Yeah, you really can't see it. All you can see is a little dab of silicone that I used to attach it in place. But there's the built-in Bluetooth microphone. Now I have my reservations about using a built-in microphone for the Bluetooth feature because the best place to have a microphone is basically right in front of your mouth, so that you're not speaking directly into it, because it'll distort your P's and T sounds, but to more or less kind of speak past it. So I really don't know how this is going to work out, having a built-in Bluetooth microphone, and it does thankfully also come with an external microphone on a 9-foot cable, so you can plug that external microphone into the Bluetooth jack and back, the jack that's labeled mic, and then you can put this microphone wherever you want it. And where I would recommend, my having been a singer and playing in bands for decades, I pretty much know how to use a microphone, and it's best to have that microphone as close to your mouth as possible, like maybe mounted on your visor. That's what I would recommend for the Bluetooth microphone. But if you want to try using the built-in Bluetooth microphone, you're perfectly welcome to. It might work out okay, but my guess is it's going to pick up vibrations and mechanical noise from the car and transfer shock and vibration. So we'll just have to see how that works out in time. And then one more thing I do on the Bluetooth is I cut a hole in the bottom of the radio for the Bluetooth antenna to pick up, because you don't want a metal shield between your Bluetooth antenna and what you're trying to pick up. So that's what I do, is I cut a hole in the bottom of the radio. The Bluetooth board can be mounted in such a way that it can pick up through the dial face, but since most of your dial faces are metallic also, I'm not real crazy about that method either. I like my work to be 100% reliable, and so I kind of go the extra mile and do whatever it takes to ensure maximum long-term reliability. So I went in and cut a hole in the bottom of the unit here. So with that all being explained and stated, we're going to go ahead and mount this puppy on a stand, on my cute little stand here. I'm going to plug her in, and this is a connector that matches with the conversion connector, and I've got this wired into my bench speakers and power supply and all that stuff, so I don't have to keep hooking and unhooking 12 wires each time I want to test a unit. We'll just plug this in right there, and we're going to plug our antenna in. If we can find the antenna wire, and here she is. All right, and we're going to test all the functions here. And so everything's all plugged in. Turn my power supply on. Kind of zoom in a little bit closer to the radio here for a little bit more dramatic of effect. Ooh, yeah. All right, let's turn this puppy on. Okay, now I do have it set to FM at the moment. And I live in kind of a small town. My shop is in Prescott Valley, Arizona, and it's kind of a small town, which usually means that there's not a whole lot of FM stations. Before a radio is converted, I can generally pick up 5 strong FM stations. So let's see what we can pick up after conversion here. Just kind of got to go slowly across the dial and kind of count how many stations we pick up.
There's no guarantee he won't.
Okay, so there's 5 FM stations right there already. Okay, that's 10 FM stations so far.
Public health. When I say public, on the road rolling
15.
Pro customers should get ready. That's 602.
Okay, that's 20. I'm not counting the really weak ones.
I think it's a simple math.
Of the interest rates and your
It's about 30 so far. Okay, 30 is about what we're going to do on the FM band. Okay, and now since this radio does not have an original AM/FM switch, the way the switch bands on this type of radio is to turn it off and then right back on within about half a second. And now we're on the AM band, and we pick up 1 or 2 good stations in Prescott Valley. There's 1. We'll call that 1.5. That little bit of music there. There should be another one coming in right about now.
We will get to that.
Alrighty. So there's the AM. So let's go ahead and put it back on FM. Nobody really likes AM too much. Put it back on FM. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and test the... now this radio has an original left-right balance control, so we'll just make sure that works. You can probably hear the difference. Let's go ahead and bring our output level meters in the picture so we can actually see it. There's the left side and right. Let's bring our radio back into the picture here. Okay, all the way to left, all the way right. Okay, back to center. Okay, now we're going to demonstrate what we call a virtual front-rear fader. What we're going to do here is we're going to give our tone control 2 quick turns to the right. After that, we're going to hear 4 beeps through the speakers. After those 4 beeps, you can use your tone control to adjust the front-rear fader. So let's go ahead and do that. First, I'm going to rotate this tone control to at the center, so I got room to rotate it to the right. Give it 2 quick turns to the right. Okay, there's our beeps. Okay, now we're adjusting front, rear, front, rear, front. Okay, back to center. I'm going to stop adjusting it. It'll time out with 1 beep. And there's our 1 beep. This function's timed out. And now this is just adjusting the tone again. You can hear the shift from bass to treble there. Alrighty, so we've got that all figured out. Now let's go ahead and pop an 8-track tape in here. And I'm going to show you why I brag so much about my 8-track work. When your 8-track comes back, it's going to sound better than it ever has before. Especially this one, because I had to install a new head. This one had a head that was producing sound, but it was making a continuous static sound on the left channel, which was unacceptable. So let's go ahead and we got a new head here. We got my special tape preamp in here, and let's go ahead and pop in some temptations. Switch the tracks 2 times. nice, bright, and crisp sound out of that 8-track after I get done with it. Okay, we're going to pull our 8-track out. Radio should come back by itself, and there's our radio. And you might have noticed that the 8-track's actually a little bit louder than the radio. That's pretty unusual for an 8-track. Okay, so we've demonstrated the AM FM, the virtual fader, the balance control works. We've demonstrated the tuning, and now we're going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, we're going to test the USB function here. Let's bring our radio back into the foreground, and we're just going to test the USB stick real quick. I've got just a little USB memory stick with my radio commercial on it. We're just going to plug that in, make sure that it plays my commercial.
Today is also National Scoop.
Okay, pull it out. Radio comes back. You probably recognize this if you've been listening to, if you've been watching my videos. You're probably sick of this commercial by now. But it makes a good test song. Okay, now I'm going to activate the Bluetooth feature, and I'm not going to go to all the time and trouble to pair it with a device because I like to leave the system clean for the customer. I don't want them to have to delete a file. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to activate the Bluetooth just to make sure it works. And to activate it, we just give the volume control 2 quick turns to the right. So here we go. If it successfully activates, a female voice will come on saying, "Ready to pair."
Just check it out, but you know it's ready to pair.
Okay, and there's that sweet female voice saying ready to pair. It's going to let the radio play again, and it's trying to pair with a Bluetooth device. If I had a Bluetooth device here, it would pair with it, and it would start working with the Bluetooth device. But for purposes of this demonstration, I just make sure it operates and everything. And so now the last thing to test, well, you know what? That's it. Everything has been tested. The Bluetooth works, USB works, the radio AM FM works, and the 8-track works. The customer did not request a line input because he has the USB and Bluetooth, so he probably prefers all wireless communication. So this test is complete and concluded. So we're just going to go ahead and get me back on here, and so you can see my pretty face just one more time before we exit. I do have to bring it back onto the, there I am. Hi, Barry. This is Barry's 8-track and classic car radio repair. Needless to say, if you have an 8-track unit in need of service for home or for car use, you can reach me directly at 928-533-9666. Same goes if you have a classic car AM radio that you would like to add FM to with the additional possibilities of Bluetooth and USB and line input and all that cool stuff. You can reach me for that reason also, obviously. My website is in the description below, and I'm going to bug you with my commercial just one more time. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.
Having fun, driving my classic ride. Got a Mustang, buddy, it's a 69, but she ain't sounding so fine. Driving this car, I can't hear the guitar, and all my tapes run slow too. Radio smoking, 8-track deck's broken. What can I do? Send it to 8-track repair center. 8-track repair center. 8-track repair center.com.